Abdullah, how will you plead to the charges?
Alleged Fivesley gang leader Abdullah Zika and other alleged...
What is a Fivesley, bro? I keep on hearing about that. They like Jets, Hounds, and Crips. Oh, so it's kind of like subside kind of, if that makes sense.
Accomplices were taken out of the 50th precinct in the Bronx to face a judge on multiple felony charges, while most of the city still slept. Officers from the Gun Violence Suppression Division, warrants, and many local precinct detective squads gathered at an undisclosed location in the Bronx to be briefed on the case.
Gun in their head. Gun put to their head. That's how brazen they were. Over and over and over again. We have intel that there may be hundreds out there. Think about that for a second. You know, these are individuals that went into neighborhoods where they felt confident that incidents wouldn't get reported.
This drill music video includes 4 alleged members of the gang, say police. The reckless shootouts with rivals are fueled by disses and drill rap videos, says Chief Jason Savino, who insists police are not against the music itself.
Okay, we back in the Bronx. In the gritty heart of the Bronx, a dozen young individuals, their ages ranging from 16 to 22, found themselves at the center of a storm of violence that sent shockwaves through the borough. The Bronx District Attorney's Office had just dropped the hammer, indicting them in connection with a staggering 23 violent incidents. These young culprits had a name for themselves. They called their crew Fivesley, a moniker derived from the infamous 175th Street, more specifically, the tumultuous junction of 175th and North Crotona Park. However, before they adopted this new identity, they were known as CPM. Their affiliations were complex. Word on the street, they are associated with Whoopty, Bloodhound Brims, but there is a Crips presence in the mix, so essentially, it's a Jet territory. However, there are some members who are Macbowler, like Davey Kenzo, who is the guy in the black sweatshirt and light blue pants. Crazy, because when we did the 9-rack story, we talked of how Nana Bowler committed a 2018 murder in this same area of Crotona Park. Anyway, the dude in the red sweater, Azika, that they say is the leader, goes by the name AB. We will hear about him later in the story. The NYPD deputy chief said 9 of the 12 people who were indicted are accused of firing guns on 2 or more occasions. The 110-count indictment charges alleged members of the CPM crew with crimes ranging from murder and manslaughter to robbery and conspiracy for incidents that occurred between 2021 and this year. Their criminal exploits extended to stealing vehicles and robbing people at gunpoint or knifepoint, often targeting victims between the ages of 69 and 72. Shockingly, they even robbed an on-duty New York State parole officer and cab drivers. In one
That's gonna be the most fortunate decision ever if you rob a off-duty cop or anything like that, bro. Like, that's... Whew.
particularly audacious incident, members of the gang snatched an on-duty parole officer's gun, which they later used in a brazen shootout. Some of the defendants will be charged as adults.
Police say this surveillance video shows how they brutally attacked a group of day laborers coming home.
Prosecutors have arrested hundreds of New Yorkers in a handful of mass takedowns in the last decade, including a 2016 federal indictment of 120 people in the Bronx that was believed to be the largest gang takedown in New York City history. A study of the 120-person indictment found that takedown swept up many individuals who were only loosely gang-affiliated. But the district attorney said this investigation focused on 12 young people who are accused of serious crimes. It's not like we're going out to look for everybody, take everybody down, the district attorney said at a press conference. We are really using precision prosecution, as well as investigations, to make sure we get the right individuals. The defendants also allegedly carjacked 4 vehicles, 2 cabs, a Chevrolet Suburban and a Lexus. 2 of the vehicles were used in shootings. Here are some of the crimes alleged in the indictment. On April 5, 2021, defendants AB, Dev, Sammy and Jay allegedly fired multiple shots at rival gang members of the Doe Avenue crew. The incident took place on the corner of Hoe Avenue and East 174th Street. The defendants, acting in concert with each other, allegedly fired at least 3 shots as a mother and 2 children walked nearby, in range of their weapons.
In this surveillance video, you see 4 alleged members, including leader Abdullah Zika, open fire on a Bronx street. A mother has to duck and pull her 2 children down in order not to get hit in the crossfire.
Just for some context, this is where 17-year-old Dubsky was killed. These two are locked for his murder, West and Hunter, and said to be Spectway, not CPM.
Video shows two suspects wanted for the murder of a Bronx teenager. Police say 17-year-old Kurther Wirtz was shot in the head and foot last Thursday afternoon and later died at a hospital. Surveillance video shows the moments leading up to his death on Hoe Avenue in Crotona. One of the suspects was also seen shortly after walking on Southern Boulevard. A motive is still unclear.
Hoe Avenue, nicknamed Doe Avenue,
RIP to her red outbursts. RIP.
is linked with the Vatos, and they have rappers over there such as EK the Uter. This is also the hood that Corey Guns comes from. That's another story though. Moving along. On April 19, 2021, at about 6 p.m., CPM got into another situation. They allegedly engaged in a shootout at 1825 Prospect Avenue, firing 18 shots. Then, on April 26, 2021, 7 days after the prior shooting, Dot and Sammy allegedly fired shots in the vicinity of 764 East 178th Street, striking Taco, an alleged 800YG's rival gang member, in the arm. Taco survived though. For context, Taco would allegedly do some spinning of his own, and would later be charged with the murder of Jareb. Moving along though. On May 25, 2021, at approximately 6 p.m., in the vicinity of 178th Street.
Do y'all think Taco really killed J-Rip? RIP to J-Rip though, but do y'all think he really killed him?
And Arthur Avenue, members Jay, Dev, Sammy and Ant, acting in concert with each other, allegedly fired multiple shots from a car at 800YG's gang member. The defendant struck Ariel Santos, 32, in the chest. The victim was an innocent bystander who was near his home standing on the corner when the shooting happened. This is according to the indictment. But one news outlet says it happened this way. According to a criminal complaint, Ant and Jay, both 18 at the time, were in a car when Jay handed Ant a gun and told him to shoot. Ant allegedly leaned out the window and blasted Santos twice, while Santos was sitting in his black Mercedes. Another outlet says two shooters exited a Chevy Blazer and ran up to Santos's vehicle before shooting him point blank. One thing was clear though. Medics rushed Santos from the scene of the shooting, just a few blocks from his home, to St. Barnabas Hospital, where he died. So, was it intentional or innocent bystander? Another outlet says two shooters exited a Chevy Blazer and ran up to Santos's vehicle before shooting him point blank. One thing was clear though. Medics rushed Santos from the scene of the shooting, just a few blocks from his home, to St. Barnabas Hospital, where he died. So, was it intentional or innocent bystander? What we can do is restate that the indictment said Santos was in fact an innocent bystander, and we can talk a little bit about the victim. For one, he was a child who spent much of his time at church and was a talented musician. According to family, he was a very good child, very playful, he made people laugh a lot, and he liked to work. According to people that knew him, he was really good in church, and he used to be a bass player. He was kind of a religious guy. After his mother's death in 2019, Santos became a little disturbed. It looked like he had started hanging out with the wrong guys, but he was not wrong by any means, they said. That's pretty much the story for Santos though. Ant and Jay were arrested sometime later. Ant has one sealed arrest and an assault arrest, while Jay has two sealed arrests for robbery and one for petty larceny. The crew would continue their carnage though. On October 18, 2021, at approximately 5:45 a.m., in the vicinity of 1449 Leland Avenue, members AB, JQ and Spaz allegedly robbed an on-duty parole officer at gunpoint. The members took the victim's firearm and cell phone. On that afternoon, AB and Spaz used the officer's gun during a shooting on 919 East 174th Street, endangering the lives of innocent bystanders. In separate incidents in May 2023, defendants AB, Spaz, JQ, and Bando allegedly conducted 3 gunpoint robberies. The victims were 2 69-year-old males and a 73-year-old male. One of the victims was pistol whipped and his head was cracked open. On June 19, 2023, AB, JQ, and Bando allegedly stole a wallet and cell phone from a man in Queens, New York, at gunpoint. The victim was severely beaten, and doctors had to perform a tracheotomy. The victim was in a coma for 3 days. But this about wraps it up. We will be revisiting this story. We would